Okay, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the regular meeting. And of course, to our viewers watching online, welcome as well. The agenda is there before you. Could I have a motion to approve, please? Moved by Councillor King, seconded by Councillor Buckle. All those in favour? Councillor Munn, motion is carried. Minutes of the meeting from November the 30th. Are there any errors or omissions? Okay, if not, the table will adopt them as presented. Business arising. Okay, no business arising, and now we'll move on to the mayor's update. Just a couple of points here, and most of these are Christmas related. The park lighting last Monday was a tremendous success, and the park was blocked, and it was probably the most people we've ever seen there yet. The choir was great, the CBS Youth Choir, and of course the weather was perfect. So we kept our fingers crossed, and lo and behold, we had a perfect night weather-wise. So we couldn't ask for a better evening. So once again, I want to thank our Recreation Director, Steve Martin, and the Recreation and Community Events Committee, and certainly the Public Works staff led by Ples Curl and Darren Smith for a job well done. The park was absolutely beautiful, and I'm sure that throughout the next few weeks there's going to be literally thousands of people walking through the park and getting their hot chocolate and paying a visit with Santa. So I spoke with many residents, non-residents, people that I knew came up and visited that night, and I tell you, they really, really enjoyed themselves. And I've never seen as many people in the park before. I'm guessing there's well over 1,000 people, so it was certainly a fantastic success. And the annual Christmas parade was held Saturday past, was also a great success. And according to Steve, it was bigger than he first expected. And of course, the road was lined off with residents and visitors alike. And from the feedback I received again from our parade, it was enjoyed immensely. The Toy Mountain deadline is fast approaching, so I encourage residents to drop off a little toy for a girl or a boy. And we want to ensure that nobody is left behind on Christmas morning. So any donation you make is certainly appreciated. And the last point is regarding the boardwalk update. Work will continue at the boardwalk site as long as we have the weather which permits the various activities. The woodwork will continue as soon as the materials arrive. Lumber has been ordered, and there was a 6-week delay on delivery from outside the province. The contractor has been informed the delay is now a further 4 to 6 weeks. The underground electrical work for the lights will continue, including a section of wire which has to be completed under the bridge. All the materials for the benches have arrived, and they will be installed as the site work continues. The entrance arch is also fabricated and will be installed once construction reaches that level of completion. There will not be any further pavement at the site at this time because the weather would compromise the quality of the work and the longevity of the paved area. The paving will be completed as soon as possible based on temperature and weather conditions. And residents and visitors are asked to continue their patience and to follow the guides on site to ensure they are safe during this construction period. So that's an update on our boardwalk. Okay, that is the mayor's update, and now we'll move on to any questions on any of those items. If not, okay, we'll move on to correspondence. There's one piece there, and that is from the Holy Cross Parish. It's for the Christmas Hamper Project. I won't read out the letter in its entirety, but basically we offered to contribute $100 towards this project. Okay, and that has been budgeted for. All in agreement? Okay. And that's the only piece of correspondence. And now we'll move on to planning and development. Deputy Mayor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Good evening, everybody. The Planning and Development Committee met on Tuesday, December 7th, with CAO Gary Corbett, Executive Assistant Krista Turnbull, and myself in attendance. Several applications were reviewed: a storage facility, accessory building, request for variances, residential, and new business development. Some applications were tabled for further discussion pending requested information from the applicants. The town plan has been amended, and the final copy has been tabled for discussion in the new year. The applications completed for motion include the following. Permit listing. Be it resolved to table and approved the attached permit listing. 6 permits were issued from November the 27th to December 13th, 2021. Permit number 12-0469-21 to 12-0474-21, and includes permits for general repairs, occupancy, and commercial extension. So moved.
Okay, moved by Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Crowley. Further discussion? If not, all those in favor? Contrary-minded, motion is carried.
And the second is the location is 158 Country Path. The zoning is rural. The proposal is for a storage building, 40 by 100, for winter storage of boats, campers, and other recreational vehicles. Be it resolved that the Town of Holyrood approve the above application in principle, subject to the Town of Holyrood development regulations. This application was advertised in accordance with Regulation 10 and 90 of the regulations. No comments were received by the deadline date of November 18th, 2021. So moved.
Okay, moved by Deputy Mayor Woodford, seconded by Councillor Bruce King. Further discussion? So this is exclusively for the winter storage of personal items, right?
Yes.
Okay, so there's no business per se with heavy equipment or anything like that
Not according to the application.
traversing along country path or anything. It's exclusively for storage.
Yes.
Okay. Any other questions or comments? If not, all those in favor, those against, motion is carried.
That's it, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. And now we'll move on to recreation and community events. Councillor Buckle.
Good evening, everyone. As everyone's aware, the Santa Claus Parade, as the mayor indicated a little while ago, was changed from Sunday to last Saturday, which I think was a great decision on behalf of our recreation director and staff. The weather was perfect. We had that little bit of snow, and it was a lot of people out, and there was a lot of floats, and there was a lot of people around, and it was it was a really good hit. And I'd like to say congratulations to the Best Business Float, Legs Poetry, who won the Best Business Float. And the community group was the Holy Cross Breakfast Program for the community group. So I'd like to say congratulations to those two groups for winning Best Business and Best Community Group. The park, as the mayor indicated, there was a good crowd that showed up at the park, the opening of the park, but it's still on the go up there from right until from December 6th to January the 5th. So there's hot chocolate services up there in the evening time from December 7th to the 22nd, and then there's a short break there for Christmas, and then December 27th to the 30th, hot chocolate will be served again at that location from 6 to 8 p.m. So anyone that wasn't up there, if they want to go up with their family, it's a great attraction too. And a bit of snow out there this evening even makes it even better. The Toy Mountain, as the mayor indicated, the deadline is fastly approaching. So anyone that can donate to that would be greatly appreciated. And I'd like to say thank you to the RCMP on behalf of the the Cruiser that we had here 2 weeks ago at the Star to Sea, and the food bank. A couple of representatives from the food bank and the little pantries was on site. And it was good to see that people dropping by and dropping off food for the less fortunate. And every little bit of food for the food bank really helps out this time of year and throughout the whole year, actually. And the other thing I like to just touch base on is the hunt for the rocks. As you can see, there's Christmas rocks painted, and they're throughout the town and the recreation facilities, and it's outlined on the town website. And if you find one of those rocks, you can turn it into the park, the swim park, in the evening time between 6 and 8 for a prize of a $10 gift card. So anyone that finds those rocks can turn them in there. And other than that, that's for me, but I will pass it over to Councillor King, and she might want to just weigh in on, she attended the seniors function there. Councillor King?
I not only attended the seniors function, I attended a few other events. I was at Granny Gross for a while. I also attended in addition to the opening of the park and the Santa Claus parade.
Excuse me, Councillor King. Mike's still on.
Oh, for God's sake.
You need to get that on too.
Push the button.
No, we got it wrong.
There you go.
Okay. I'm going to say I attended most of the events, starting with the opening of the park, then the parade. I was at the painting, and I was at breakfast with Santa, and I was at the seniors party. All the events were well attended, and people were quite impressed with the lineup of the activities for Christmas. So thanks to Steve who did all the planning, really. I'd also like to say thank you to Tim Hortons. We talked about hot chocolate at the park. That's all being donated by Tim Hortons. So we need to send a big thank you to them. And again, as Curtis said, or Mayor Buckle, we need to remember Tie Mountain. That's the deadline is tomorrow. So if anybody can get out there and contribute, it's time to do it now. So no child will be forgotten Christmas morning. And I'd also like, on behalf of the Recreation Committee, to wish each and everybody a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. And we get back to business after Christmas.
Okay, thank you, Councillor King. Any further discussion, questions? Okay, if not, we will move on to infrastructure and public works. Councillor Windsor.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, and good evening, everyone. Nothing major from infrastructure and public works tonight. After some discussion with my committee members and esteemed colleagues, Councillor Sadie King and Director Stacey, we agree that the major files have been discussed at the last public meeting and the special meeting before that. We wanted to allow some more time tonight for our colleagues to present the budget and allow for some more wholesome discussion around that. The only thing I will say for Public Works is a huge shout out to our staff in clearing the roads. You know, it's greasy today, and driving here tonight I could see that there was an accident of some kind on the highway, and when I entered the town of Holyrood I was pleased to see that it was a lot better down here. So big shout out to staff. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Windsor. Okay, business development and marketing. Deputy Mayor, you're up again.
Our committee met on Monday, December 6th, and in attendance was Mayor Gubby and our Director Marjorie Gibbons and myself. There was a variety of discussion on the active files in the department. They are very diverse files. They stream across other departments, and we will be working with those departments in the coming year. There was two new business applications which were reviewed and have been forwarded to planning and development for consideration. And then once the regulations are reviewed and all recommendations identified, we will work with planning and development to move forward on that. There were conference reports. 3 reports were presented at the meeting. We didn't have time to discuss them, but that's tabled for the new year. Our CAO and our marketing business development marketing director attended 3 conferences: the Laurenti Conference, the Marine Institute Conference, and the Economic Development Conference. And once we've had a moment to be able to discuss them, we'll present that to council. And last but not least, several funding applications were completed for Come Home Year and also ISIP, as we all had that special meeting. And we will keep council updated on any new developments in the new year on those. And that was it for business development marketing.
Okay, thank you very much. Any questions or comments? Okay, if not, we will move on to public safety. Councillor Bruce King.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Public Safety Committee met on December 10th, and we discussed a variety of topics, but most of the important ones I'll just cover, and some of the other ones will be covered in the budget. The biggest one that we discussed at the Public Safety meeting was a rash of both vandalism and stealing. And this is a time of the year now, Christmas, people have to be extra careful. Christmas gifts, people are out there looking for money, and they'll take any opportunity whatsoever to take advantage of you turning your back for a few minutes, laying your purse down, leaving your car unlocked, anything like that, people will snap onto it. So the biggest thing people, we always, in the military, we use the phrase, if you see something, say something, okay? The RCMP are just up the hill. If you see somebody around your neighbor, around your own house, around your neighbor's house, pick up the phone and call the RCMP, right? If you can get a description, even better. So over the Christmas holidays, people should take care of their own property and also care of your neighbors as well. One of the other things that came up, we discussed, was speeding. And it came up with regards to Route 60, but I know people have talked about Country Path, and they've talked about all the other different side roads. So speeding is another problem. I know I live down on Route 60, and in the morning, I walk Route 60 almost every morning, and it's almost like Targa down there in the mornings, right? You know, kids are going to school, they're out on the sides of the road, they're not paying attention to what they're doing, they're more interested in getting on the bus and getting off the bus. So, but people seem to be in an awful hurry to go nowhere, all right? So we in the new year, we are going to sit down with the RCMP and all members of council and discuss a plan of more enforcement with regards to speeding, a better plan towards vandalism and stealing, and like so soon as the new year comes in, we will be sitting down, not just the Public Safety Committee, but all members of council as well. And that way, all members of council can have an input. We discussed the Murray's Peak, the mailboxes down at Murray's Peak, with regards to lighting. Robert phoned Canada Post, and basically it's a responsibility of Canada Post to make sure that there's adequate lighting anywhere where they set up their mailboxes. So we've talked to Canada Post, we told them our concerns, and hopefully they will be able to address it. And that would also apply to any other large groups of mailboxes that are in the town. If people feel that it's not lighted adequately enough, especially people going to their mailbox at night after they come home from work, then the best thing to do is contact Canada Post and express your concerns. Okay? And the last one, I won't get into detail with regards to the fire department. We discussed at some time ago with regards to a fundraiser for the fire department, and we used the thing with regards to saying, well, you know, why would anybody outside of Holyrood be interested in the fire department here in Holyrood? So why should I buy a ticket on something, or why should I donate for something? Well, over the past year, in 2021, there were 18 accidents on the Trans-Canada Highway that the fire department here in Holyrood responded to. So those people that were involved in that accident could be from anywhere on the island. They could be coming all the way from St. Anthony, going to visit relatives in St. John. So once we start our fundraiser in the new year, people need to know that the fire department that we have here responds to not just the people of Holyrood, but if somebody is in an accident or has an emergency up on the Trans-Canada Highway and it falls in between Butterpot Park and the Salmon line, the Holyrood Fire Department is going to be probably the first people on the scene. And that's all I have at this time, Mr. Mayor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. Any questions or comments? Okay, if not, we will move on to corporate services. Councillor Crawley.
Good evening, everyone. Councillor King and Director Marie Searle, we met on December 7th and went through the accounts. So we have a couple of motions here. For corporate services, be it resolved that accounts tabled in the amount of $304,311.91. That's D 502273-2292 and 42717-42842 be approved for payment.
Okay, moved by
So
Councillor
moved.
Crawley, seconded by Deputy Mayor. Further discussion? If not, all those in favor, those against, motion is carried.
General account information. Part B, North Arm River water supply analysis. Be it resolved that the Town of Holyrood make application to the Gas Tax Authority to conduct water sampling analysis on North Arm River at a cost of $22,000, HST included, as recommended in the North Arm River water supply investigation conducted by SNC Lavalin in 2021. This water sampling will allow the town to address the safe, reliable water source by providing the necessary analysis required to fully complete the water improvements on the Salmonair line through 17 MYCW-22-00046 project recently approved for the town and an ICIP application submitted on November 29, 2021. The goal of these combined projects is to provide a new, reliable water source to the town. Reliable, safe drinking water is an important service for our residents. Insight into long-term water supply is a necessity, and continual improvements to town infrastructure will ensure Holyrood's growth potential will be maximized. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Crawley, seconded by Councillor Windsor. Further discussion?
Oh, I think it's been discussed. This is great.
Okay, if not, all those in favor, those against, motion is carried.
Hey, multi-year capital works, be it resolved that the Town of Holyrood accept cost-shared funding as outlined in the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure Project Approval Letter dated December 6, 2021, project number 17-MYCW-22-00046, Salmonair Line Emergency Water Supply. Total project value is $1,063,383. The Town of Holyrood agrees to provide the ultimate recipient share value of $96,431 in funding for this project and authorizes the mayor and CAO to enter into a funding agreement with the Department of Transportation and Infrastructure on behalf of the Town of Holyrood. This project will extend the water line along the Salmonair from the existing service at 117 Salmonair Line to the south end of the bridge over one segment of North Arm River. This project is phase one of a three-phase project to increase water supply availability. This extension of the existing water main, 800 meters along the Salmonair Line, will bring services near the location of the planned North Arm water supply source and will strengthen the reality of accessing that water supply. Phase two, which has already been submitted to government, will include completion of the environmental registration of the watershed and ready the area for an eventual design-build water treatment facility, which will be phase three of the whole process to ensure safe drinking water for Holyrood residents. So moved.
Okay, moved by Councillor Crawley, seconded by Councillor Buckle. Further discussion? So basically, this is a three-phased approach. The first phase is to extend the water line down 800 meters, I do believe.
Yeah, that's right.
Crosses over the first bridge, and that's where it will end. And phase two, which we've applied for under ICIP, and we're waiting on a response for that now. That project is valued at, I think, $860,000, and that will extend the road up and the site preparation for the water treatment plant. Correct? Correct. Okay. So, please God willing, we'll we'll bring all this to fruition in the next, it's going to take, and, you know, it's going to take some time before we get to the third stage. But anyway, we're moving forward, and the first one has been approved, and the second phase, we've got the application gone in, awaiting approval. So we've got our homework done on this, and
Ready to go.
hopefully we'll get a response on phase 2 in a not too distant future. And then we'll be prepared with the water analysis that will determine exactly what kind of water treatment plant we will require. So hopefully the samples will come back, and then those samples will be done throughout the whole year. There's a multitude of things involved with the water samples, and apparently they have to be sent off to Halifax. So it's a pretty comprehensive process in doing this water analysis. But in the end, it'll tell you exactly, you know, based on all these samples, exactly how this water treatment plant should be designed and for the quality of our residents. So things are moving along, and we've got the first phase approved, and hopefully now we'll hear shortly after Christmas on phase 2. Okay, any other questions or comments on that? Okay, if not, all those in favor, those against, motion is carried.
Next, lead you back to the first one where you actually paid all the accounts. Our bank book balance is $142.22. And now, if everyone is ready, we will present the budget for 2022.
And I will add, folks, that we are breaking with tradition here tonight. This is the first time since, I think, 1969, when the town was incorporated. The mayor always presented the budget in the town of Holyrood. But that is changing now with most municipalities, whereby the mayor don't present the budget, and it's usually done by somebody on the Corporate Services Committee. And tonight we have Councillor Crowley, who's a member along with Councillor Bruce King on Corporate Services. And I will now turn it over to you, Councillor Crowley, to present the budget.
Thank you very much. Thank you for all those listening. Good evening, Mayor Gooby, council colleagues, staff, residents, and friends of Holyrood. The town of Holyrood is a town which can boast a great natural beauty, a willingness to help its neighbor, and an openness to new and innovative ways of improving community life for residents. The goal of your municipal council is to ensure we provide residents with safe, reliable services without causing financial hardship or unnecessary burden. Our goal is to listen attentively, make decisions wisely, and act upon those decisions in an open and transparent manner. As your council follows this commitment, we are confident that together with staff, we can ensure continued growth and prosperity for our town. This evening, I am honored in my role as Corporate Services Committee member to present Budget 2022 with no new tax or fee increases. Residential mill rate will remain at 6.5, and commercial property will remain at 11. Council and staff have worked diligently to ensure we can offer to residents of Holyrood reliable services in 2022 without adding additional financial burden, even in the face of rising costs of goods and services, and reduced income through our municipal assessment. This has been Council's commitment to you, to safeguard our services and to look to ways of improving and expanding without additional burden. How well we invest in and manage our infrastructure, including roads, electricity, water, sewer, recreational programming, and other services, has a huge bearing on our quality of life. The Town Council of Holyrood is committed to providing the best possible services to each of you, so you may continue to enjoy this great place we call home. Mayor Gooby, my council colleagues, and I want to see our community grow, succeed, and thrive. We want our infrastructure to be modern, safe, and sustainable. We want our residents to work at jobs they love, which will help them provide for their families. We want them to be able to move around their Holyrood safely and easily. Council recognizes the importance of planning for sustainable Holyrood into the future by fostering innovative business development. The town is engaged in a focused business development model that inspires our present business community to grow and become stronger, while inviting new business initiatives to come, establish their home here, and help us grow our economy. The success of this model is evident in the development activity at the Blue Ocean Industrial Park, with Marine Institute looking to begin their storage building and laydown area in 2022. Irving will also begin their truss plant on site in 2022. Your council is tirelessly working to bring a supermarket to the stores, and we will continue to work with investors and other professionals to achieve this goal. The process is slow but steady. We believe this goal will be realized. There are several companies who have requested professional office space at the stores, and investors are responding by proposing new building construction. We will continue to work with these investors and bring these new amenities to our town, setting the stage for new opportunities, new jobs, and new revenue through business taxes. The expansion to the Holyrood Marine Base is in progress and is scheduled to be completed by August 2022. Holyrood has proudly boasted of the new Marine Base and the opportunities they bring for us to grow our town, and we are delighted that it has become a reality. Through strategic planning, Holyrood is ready to capitalize on the activities which will take place because of Marine Institute's presence, and we look forward to maximizing the benefits for the delivery of services and programs to our residents. Creating new business opportunities, supporting our local business community, these are the actions necessary to create new economic activity, opportunity for new jobs for our residents, and the intake of new business taxes which will fuel service delivery capability in all sectors, including infrastructure and recreation. The Department of Business Development and Marketing supports an outward reach to develop partnerships and identify business opportunities while supporting local business. Council supports a shared community vision by engaging residents into the economic development process, rather than promoting a council-driven vision. An all-inclusive approach gives residents a sense of ownership for and appreciation of how you want the town developed. Our business development strategy is allowing our municipality to grow and improve its infrastructure and programming without causing increased burden to residents. Council recognizes these are challenging times. Investments in connectivity and economic opportunity for Holyrood have been realized. Our partners share a common ground, a strong, sustainable municipality, which is a safe place to raise families and a growth center for economic development. These are the partnerships which will activate opportunities here in our town. 2021 was another tremendous year in improved infrastructure. Through mindful spending within the infrastructure and public works budget, and through well-developed proposals to our funding partners, both federally and provincially, the Town of Holyrood witnessed improved water services along Country Path, the completion of a water study, and the continuation of projects addressing water pressure and aging water lines. Holyrood will continue to take a coordinated, well-informed approach to providing a long-term, consistent framework for service delivery to maintain the town's sustainability for the future. Reliable, safe drinking water is an important service for our residents. Insight into a long-term water supply is a necessity, and continual improvements to town infrastructure will ensure Holyrood's growth potential will be maximized. The Infrastructure and Public Works Committee will continue to focus on asset integrity management program, allocating funding to engineering studies to assist with prudent decision-making, and engaging with government through their funding programs to manage costs. Council has recognized the need for improvements to the water supply network through evaluation of our present system. Holyrood has been experiencing periodic water supply problems within its water supply system due to a limited supply provided by the existing groundwater well system. With continued community growth, the need for additional water supply is necessary. The town engaged in an engineering firm to conduct a preliminary water supply study on North Arm River to determine its viability in connecting to the town's current water distribution network. Preliminary investigations and reports provide positive results, with the goal of making North Arm River an integral component of the town's future water supply. The safety of our vehicular and pedestrian traffic is paramount and a top priority of our council. We have deliberately focused gas tax funding towards improving the town transportation system. Paving and road upgrades have taken place on several town roads, and this activity will continue into 2022 with the continued financial assistance of the Gas Tax Authority. The town of Holyrood is cognizant of the present-day challenges of the province and the country. Mindful of the demands and the finances of our residents, especially considered COVID-19 and its effects on our economy, Council will continue to honour its commitments to federal and multi-year capital works payments, as well as our responsibility to gas tax and the Investing in Canada Infrastructure Program, otherwise known as ISIP. Council respects that our residents are living a reality of restraint and rising costs of living. In 2022, we will continue to assist our residents by providing a payment plan where residents can pay taxes over an 8-month period with post-dated checks without interest. Seniors receiving the GIS will receive a 20% discount on property tax. We will also reach out to those families who have a combined income of $30,000 or less annually and provide them with a 20% discount. Our innovative service delivery model requires due diligence, informed decision-making, and innovative thinking. The town of Holyrood is very fortunate to have a dedicated staff which ensures ongoing financial stability to support that service model. Led by CAO Gary Corbett and Director of Financial Operations Marie Searle, management staff protect the credibility of all spending and provide practices which ensure good value to taxpayers and strategic investments into the future. As Council continues to work closely with staff on these budgetary practices, we pledge to remain focused on furthering developing new and innovative ways of doing business to maximize benefits to the town and its residents without additional burden. With that as the center of our needs identification, your council has decided to engage in both an organizational review as well as a strategic plan development. The town will use gas tax funds to allow us to have a document which will be used to set priorities, focus energy and resources, strengthen operations, ensure that council, employees, and other stakeholders are working towards common goals. It is always important to stand still for a moment, look at where we are, where we want to go, and decide if we're doing all the things that will get us there. These activities are important in assisting council and staff with daily decisions regarding how best to achieve goals set out for the town. This full budget document is an integral component of the future of Holyrood and its residents. Each department has generated a budget developed around a plan to ensure residents have prime services at lowest cost possible. In the area of general government, enables the town to engage qualified purchased and professional services such as legal, auditor, consulting, and engineering. Costs associated with property assessment services, after-hour services, council remuneration, engineering experts, as well as supplies and general maintenance are also included. The town has included a budget component for public relations in this category. This allows the town to provide funding to the breakfast program and other events at Holy Cross Elementary and Roncalli Central High School. Supporting our youth is key to a sustainable future in the town of Holyrood. This category of our budget also provides $10,000 for the Holyrood Public Library, a contribution for the Holyrood Food Bank, funds to support scholarships, as well as other organizations requesting support throughout the year. Protective Services is tasked with the safety and well-being of all residents and local businesses. The Holyrood Fire Department has had a remarkable growth period under the leadership of Chief Bob Bauer and Acting Chief Evan Woodford. The emphasis on training and certification, as well as emergency preparedness, has expanded the professionalism of the unit. Members of the department completed 37 in-house training sessions on regular duty nights for approximately 3 hours per session. That's 111 training hours completed in-house outside of the 20 40-hour courses completed under the National Fire Protection Association. The department is committed to advancement and keeping current with the training needs and requirements of 2022. In 2022, the department is set to hire another full-time firefighter to complete the current full-time, that's 8 a.m. to 4 p.m., staff and crew, and to better protect the residents and public we serve with adequate response times. Throughout 2021, the Holyrood Fire Department, as of December 10th, has responded to a total of 114 incident calls, 41 calls being fire related, 38 calls being medical rescue related, 29 motor vehicle related, and 6 extra service calls. The Holyrood Fire Department's membership in 2021 grew from 23 active members to 33 active members, composed of highly dedicated, trained, and certified firefighters. In 2022, the department hopes to continue its growth and retain its membership number. As the fire department continues to improve services, Council is continuing to find ways to improve the fire station. In 2021, Council saw the completion of the construction of a new training room as an addition to the fire hall. This project was funded through the COVID stimulus program through government and has become a great asset in terms of available space for training programs. Council continues to work through a designated training ground for the fire department and has applied to Crown land for available space. Transportation and services enables the town of Holyrood to provide reliable, essential services to residents using the latest techniques. Technology fosters efficiency and effectiveness, creating a foundation for improved planning, scheduling, and management. The department is structured to provide the core municipal services to the residents by applying best practices to all aspects of its operation in areas of water, sewer, roads, streetlights, and maintenance. This category encompasses many essential services which are vital to the residents of the town. This budget area makes use of the multi-year capital works, gas tax, and investing in community infrastructure program, ISIP, initiatives through our government partners to enable us to make improvements and provide services. The town of Holyrood has had tremendous success in satisfying the guidelines of government programs and have received funding complete major projects to support our infrastructure improvements. We'll continue to work with our government partners to build safer, more reliable infrastructure systems for our residents without adding financial burden to our taxpayers. We have been approved for a number of projects in 2021, which will be actioned in 2022, including a $1.4 million sewer upgrade to our sewer treatment plant, a $1.6 million project to provide a 500,000-gallon water tank with the necessary capabilities to tie this into our current water system, and a $1 million project recently approved to bring water further south along the Salmon line. A new ISIP application has also been submitted for $718,000 to complete a water improvement project to ensure safe, reliable water services to residents. Environmental health is a concern across Canada and the world as we struggle to deal with huge issues such as climate change, safe drinking water, wastewater, waste management. Your council is aware of the importance of protecting our planet and ensuring generations to come will live in a safe environment. Council is committed to a composting pilot project and raising awareness in the importance of recycling. We will work diligently on securing funding to purchase a mechanical composter to enable us to truly provide sound composting program to residents. Our youth demand that we act now to ensure the longevity of the world as we know it and provide them with the assurance of a future when they become community leaders. The town of Holyrood is committed to becoming stewards of good environmental decisions. Infrastructure improvement programs have identified improvements in the town's sewer system as a major priority. A sewer study is being completed now, and this study will be a very useful tool in assisting us with the planning for the sewer project upgrade for 2022. The study will identify the immediate and long-term needs, which will in turn lead our prioritizing of the sewer improvements goals and objectives. When the members of your town council make a conscious decision to positively affect the future condition of the town and not cause additional burden to the residents, they made the decision to strategically plan for economic diversification and the establishment of meaningful business opportunities to create the financial ability to achieve success. The Department of Business Development and Marketing is the engine which drives the new activity and helps create funding across all other departments. Investing in Holyrood has become a game changer to ensure continued valued services and the opportunity for new additional service growth in the future. This category of the budget allows for tourism development, such as the present boardwalk improvements, which is cost shared with the government. Also included is the development of the Trail Master Plan which will provide healthy, active living capabilities within the town. The Trail Master Plan was designed in 2021 and will be implemented in a phased approach in 2022. These initiatives will be completed with the support of our federal and provincial governments through their various grant programs. Council will prioritize the plan in doable phases to ensure the integrity of the plan. Business development and marketing is looking inward to local businesses, ensuring the small business community has an open door if they require assistance. We ensure businesses are aware of programming available to them. We also look outwardly to invite new, innovative companies to consider investing in our town. It is these business ventures which will provide the additional tax base to improve services for you, the residents. The Business Development and Marketing Committee is preparing a workshop session in 2022 to allow business to come together and brainstorm on how the town can best support and grow our local business community. Engaging our business community and providing opportunity for residents to share in the economic development of the town is a recipe for success. The economic diversification tool, referred to as Oceans Holyrood, has been extremely successful in getting attention to Holyrood. Most recently, in 2021, we saw the announcement of the launch by Marine Institute of Memorial University here in Holyrood. In 2010, the Marine Institute opened the Holyrood Marine Base. Through a multi-phase development approach, the base has expanded its infrastructure to undertake at-sea and in-water research and education activities to meet the teaching, learning, and research goals of the Institute and the broader Memorial University community. The Institute will transform Holyrood into a top-of-mind, leading-edge hub, a launch pad for learning, experimentation, expertise, exploration, and application of technology for the national and international ocean sector. Under a new name, the Holyrood Marine Base will become the Launch, and will transform a marine base into a multi-purpose cold ocean technology hub. Memorial also officially named the new building under construction on the base site as the Arthur W. May Building, in dedication to a former president of Memorial University. Council is excited with anticipation for the future growth of the ocean-related business here in this town. As we continue to grow this beautiful town as a great place to live, learn, work, play, and invest, we will promote Holyrood as a place to invest, and do so, we want to create a busy, economically active town where residents can find employment to provide for their families. The planning and development component of the budget includes financial resources for planning expertise, completion of the mandatory 5-year municipal plan review, and community improvement, as well as tourism and marketing. The Holyrood Municipal Plan is a legal document that helps guide physical development throughout the town. It contains planning policies that guide activities such as what businesses should look like in the future, how neighborhoods evolve over time, and the location and look of residential, commercial, and industrial areas. It'll help us determine what kinds of open spaces should be preserved and where they should be located. It directs us how land is used and what kind of infrastructure provided or will be required. The municipal plan establishes a big picture forecast of how our community is intended to look in the next 10-year period and provides policies and actions required to carry out that plan. The plan contains goals and objectives that help formulate policies for housing, transportation, environment, recreation, economy, and social, cultural land uses and implementation. The municipal plan guides the Planning and Development Committee, as well as all council, in reviewing and addressing residential, commercial, accessory building, and other property uses throughout the municipality. Key components include the development rules that are applied to individual properties, the rules that are applied when properties are subdivided, and how applications for development are processed. It is a document that affects us all in one shape or another. It also influences other studies and planning initiatives that are undertaken once the municipal plan is in place and affects investment decisions, public and private. Council is currently reviewing the municipal plan, and when that process is completed, late winter or early spring, there will be public consultations for residents and stakeholders to review the municipal documents and maps and offer commentary. Other funds built into the planning and development component of the budget include operational costs and supplies for the Holyrood Heritage Museum. The town of Holyrood can boast on the provincial and national stage that our recreation programs and special events are world-class. Council has provided recreation and cultural services with the support to create new, innovative programming for all social sectors. Programs include opportunities for seniors, adults, teens, and children in fields of physical activities, creative art, entertainment, and cultural exposure. The key goal is to provide inclusive recreation opportunities for all ages and all abilities. COVID-19 tried hard to knock us down, but through the efforts of your council and staff, we found new and innovative ways to continue to support residents through at-home activities, which promoted healthy, active living and profound hope at a time when people really needed it most. The department is well known for its eye to detail in planning events and answering the needs and wants of residents as they take part in the events that appeal to their interest. Hosting events, both social and sport, means that we must be cognizant of our parks, playgrounds, and facilities. We must ensure personal safety for those using the infrastructure, and therefore we will invest in infrastructure improvements which directly affect our ability to deliver sound, meaningful programming. 2022 will be the beginning of acting on our Salmoneer Line Recreation Park with the opening of 2 new courts. A multi-purpose court and a basketball court will be completed this year. There'll also be improvements to the skate park and a community garden. The Recreation Department will review the Holy Cross Park operations and will hire personnel to assist with providing safe family experiences at the park. The planned improvements are all about delivering safe, memorable activities which families can take part without compromising public safety. The recreation component of the strategic plan of Holyrood is structured to improve Holyrood's competitive edge in providing community-based recreation programs and community events for residents and visitors of all ages, and provides the security of a well-rounded living opportunity. The fiscal condition of Holyrood is very healthy. We have a 12% debt ratio, which ensures the town can meet its financial obligations without difficulty. It is the prudent spending within the town's budget, combined with the ability to engage with our government partners through their funding programs, which make a marked difference in service delivery for our residents. We are totally confident in our ability to contribute our share to the funding programs without causing financial hardship. In 2019, Council embarked on a new path by purchasing and selling land, such as Blue Ocean Land. And now we're ready to evaluate the proposals for Oceana, Cold Ocean Research and Innovation Park, located behind the stores. Through the sale of land, we have the opportunity to complete projects on the town's priority list, which otherwise would not be affordable without tax increases. These projects involve roadwork, sewer improvements, outfall cleanout, and other infrastructure initiatives. Council is diligently working with staff to identify ways to improve service reliability, and as such, we're beginning to replace town-owned equipment in 2022. Although we're not doing a complete fleet replacement in 2022, we are making a start. Holyrood's good fiscal condition allows us to move forward with this initiative in a small way in 2022. Council is grateful to be in a position to ensure life remains positive and hopeful for all present and future residents. We are confident in our ability to meet the financial demands to support programs and activities. As with all good financial planning, it is extremely important for Council to identify revenue to complement the funds we receive through innovative methods of doing business. With no new tax increases, an enhanced program for our seniors and low-income families, Council and staff carefully crafted a budget which would not cause any disruption in our present service delivery. We are a new council with a 4-year mandate, and throughout the next 4 years, the goal of Mayor Gooby and my council colleagues is to carefully evaluate the various needs of the town and, with the assistance of staff, devise a reasonable response to those needs which contribute to the best possible reliable services to residents. Revenue sources are very consistent through the due diligence of taxpayers to their annual taxes, as well as the support from residents and businesses through various activities and events throughout the year. You, the residents, and businesses are key to Council's ability to deliver the programs and services we provide in Holyrood. Many of our programs and services are the envy of other towns of our size, and we should certainly recognize the efforts of staff, both management and public works, who come to work each day committed to making a difference in our community. Tonight, we deliver to you a balanced budget of $3,969,930.54. The budget will be available on the town website detailing the departmental breakdown as well as revenue and expenditures. Your worship, council colleagues, staff, residents, businesses, and friends, it is great times in Holyrood. We're seeing great opportunities translate into actual growth and development. Our future is coming together as we work toward a common goal, ensuring Holyrood is a great place to live, learn, work, play, and invest. Council would like to take this opportunity to thank you all for your vision and your commitment to what you can be if you believe. Thank you to the residents who provided submission during the budget consultation. We want to ensure residents continue to enjoy a high standard of living, receive outstanding municipal services at reasonable cost, and can boast a variety of available programs. And we are still listening. We can keep them coming. I'm proud to be part of this budget, and on behalf of all council, we ask everyone to work with us to help achieve our goals and continue this great path we have mapped for our town. Thank you. Make our motions here while I stand here. We'll return to the table.
You can come
Mayor?
back to your chair. Thank you very much, Councillor Crawley. Well presented.
Thank you.
So now you can move forward with the resolution, and then we can go around the table and everybody can have their thoughts and input into the budget.
Okay. Be it resolved, the Town of Holyrood, in accordance with the Municipalities Act, Section 75 to 79, adopt the 2022 budget with operating revenues and expenditures totaling $3,969,930.54. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Crawley, seconded by Deputy Mayor. Further discussion? So we'll go around the table. If anybody would like to speak to the budget, feel free to add your thoughts.
We can, sure.
I'm not, if you choose not to, then that's up to yourself.
No, first I want to congratulate Councillor Crawley on delivering her first budget. I think she did a fantastic job, and I think we all need to give her a round of applause for delivering such a great budget. I was myself honoured and proud that we all worked together so hard to present this balanced budget for 2022 without having to place any further burden on the residents or the business community. It's a healthy budget and identifying key projects in various departments for 2022. You know, thanks to everybody. It was a very detailed discussion and deliberation by everyone's part, and I thank everyone that was involved. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor. Anyone else? Councillor Bruce?
Yes, I want to congratulate Laura also on a job well done. I also want to acknowledge the fact that of all my fellow councillors, and that this is the first time that I've been involved with budgeting, because my wife looks after all that stuff at home. But all of the hard work that's gone on behind the scenes, like it's great to see all this stuff here in council, right? But it's all behind the scenes stuff that actually makes the wheels move, and it's almost like I guess like a jigsaw puzzle, and the staff here are trying to put all the pieces together, and you know, and everybody don't get everything they want, but everybody gets something, right? And I'm in particular, I'm glad to see the acknowledgement of the fire department. I mean, we have one of the healthiest fire departments probably anywhere in the province. They are very highly trained. They're dedicated. They show up when training is supposed to be on. And, you know, I'm confident that if something ever happened to me or something ever happened to somebody in my family, and these people showed up at the house or on the highway or wherever, I can feel confident that the people that are there know exactly what it is they're supposed to be doing. And I think people should take reassurance in the fact that we do have an outstanding fire department here in Holyrood. You know, we're hiring on another firefighter, which is great. We're also looking at acquiring another emergency response vehicle to replace the one that's gone out of service. So that's another thing we're looking forward into the future, into 2022, or whenever we can. There's a shortage of vehicles, believe it or not. It takes a long spell now from the time you order a truck to the time it actually physically shows up. It's not like going out to the dealership and saying, I want this truck, and well, no, it's not like that. So it's more to follow on that one. The other one I'm very happy about is with regards to the museum. The museum, the people that are down there are absolutely, totally dedicated to making that museum one of the jewels here in Holyrood. Right? All of them, all of the committee down there put 100% effort into everything. They spend a lot of time down there, and I'm sure they're going to be very happy to find out that there's money being dedicated towards the museum. And I think with Come Home Year coming up, I think it will be almost like a crime not to make sure that this museum is absolutely up to the highest standard we could possibly get it for when people start coming here from all over the country and all over the province, and people coming back to the town of Holyrood after being gone. I think once they walk through the door and see what's there, they'll be very impressed. And thank you all very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm going to leave you to last because you made the motion. You gets to close the discussion. Councillor Buckle.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Crowley, for delivering the 2022 budget. It is never easy to try to balance the needs of a town in terms of service delivery against the ability of the town to get tax revenue. The budget is a very hardline budget with no tax or fee increase, which is good for the people who are living on set incomes and cannot afford to pay extra taxes. People in our community are feeling the effects of all the same increases that the town is seeing, such as gas, heat, we have, as well as there are many items that we would have liked to see included in the budget that we have delayed until further time because it is satisfying to see all departments contributing to holding our tax base while not negatively affecting the town. And last but not least, congratulations to the staff for their part in achieving the balanced budget, and to my council colleagues who serve on the various committees for their hard work in getting us to this budget. And with that being said, I'd like to just make a couple of comments. Bruce made a couple there, and Michelle. You know what I mean? There's a lot of work and time and effort goes. You know, we're here tonight presenting the budget, but I mean, we did have a lot of meetings. We did look at stuff that we would like to see in the town. Some of it we put in this budget, some of it we put on the back burner, and we'll look at down the road because we wanted to keep a balanced budget. But you know what I mean? Our council and our staff worked hard on getting this budget balanced here tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Councillor Buckle.
Well, good evening, Mayor Gubby, fellow councillors, management, staff. Good evening, Mayor Gubby, fellow councillors, management, staff, and members of the listening audience. First of all, congratulations, Laura. Great presentation. The budget we are delivering this evening is indeed a balanced budget. And as a councillor who has been around this table for many years, I am glad we are able to present a budget without increasing taxes or fees for our residents. The budget process has been long and has been a difficult road, due mainly to the reduction in assessments and therefore the reduction in revenue for this town. How do you blend the decrease in revenue with the increase in operating costs in every line of business we as a town incur? It is a dilemma, and one that has caused a great deal of concern for everyone. The town asked all departments to trim their budget to accommodate the reduction in revenue. And we are very fortunate that every department were able to refine their budget without negatively affecting their goals and objectives to any great degree. I'm certainly pleased with the outcome, but I do have reservations and concerns about how the next few years may evolve if expenses continue to be trimmed and there is no adjustment to increased revenue. I want to caution you this evening that we have aging infrastructure, an aging fleet of public works equipment, and rising operational costs such as gas, electricity, insurance, and other such responsibilities. With these concerns, I believe it is incumbent on council, staff, and residents to understand that we may not be able to address anything not already identified in the budget. I will support the budget, and I will express a sincere thank you, especially to the staff and my fellow councillors for the countless hours we have spent trying to bring about this balanced budget. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor King. Mike? Councillor Windsor.
Well, you know I'm chomping at the bit, Mr. Mayor, to get in there. But I'm used to that, going in alphabetical order my whole lifetime to be patient as I can. I have nothing prepared. I just want to speak from the heart, I guess, and off the cuff, and that's what I wanted to do tonight, and echo the sentiments of Council Laura, Councillor Crawley. Exceptional job. You're a tough act to follow. Well done. Thank you. And everybody. This document is an exceptional document, and it's very well put together. I read it all in the time I had to read it, and it's very good, and I'm happy to support it. No new taxes, improved service levels. I'll say that again. No new taxes, improved service levels. That is a huge challenge, especially in this day and age with rising costs. So well done, everybody. Many hours and hours and days and weeks and meetings going to this behind the scenes. Like, as a new councillor, frankly, mind blown at the effort that goes into pulling this together. Everyone in this room, council staff in this building, input from residents during the consultation, very impressive. I could have an opinion on every single subject in here, but being respectful of time, I'll stay in my lane a little bit. Infrastructure and public works. Water, water, water. Roads, roads, roads. Equipment, equipment, equipment. That is my focus, my number one priority, and getting those things back to basics. And as my committee member has just alluded to, the aging infrastructure, aging equipment, we need to be vigilant, and we need to be very mindful of that and plan for the future, right? I would dearly love to be here every single year and say no new taxes. That is the objective. However, the realities are that we do have these problems, and we can face them and overcome them together. And one item I think that's very important for us next year, and we've talked about that, is an operational review. I think that's a very healthy thing to do. And it's not something you do once and it's done. It's something you do periodically, right? In my line of work, that is something that happens on a regular basis. Serves as a verification of the good work being done and brings forward diverse perspectives and new ideas of things maybe we never thought about. So let's continue to focus on that. I'm sure there's other things that I could comment on, but those were my main observations and points. And just thank you, everyone. I'm really happy to be part of it, and you have my full support on this budget. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Windsor. And I'd like to make a few comments as well. First of all, thank you, Councillor Crawley, for the excellent job in presenting the budget. And thank you to our staff, who also played a big part in putting all this together as well. And I want to sincerely thank all the council and all of the staff. As you just mentioned, Councillor Windsor, there was a lot of time, a lot of effort, a lot of discussion, a lot of debate, trying to prioritize the items that we need to move forward in 2022. As you say, there's a wish list there of many items, but unfortunately, finances don't allow us to go out and do everything in one year that we'd like to achieve. It takes a period of time, but I think that we've set the priorities pretty well, and I would consider this a prudent and responsible budget. Prudent in the sense that when we started off this process, we had a $160,000 shortfall, which is a challenge unto itself. The staff dug in with the support of council and managed to shave roughly 4% from various departments, so that went a long way in bringing down that $160,000. We were able to be creative in applying for certain items, with the provincial and federal government. So, creativity is a lot when preparing municipal budgets. So that went very well. And the operational review, that was one of my campaign platforms, and not to sound political, but I got to say it was widely supported by residents along my travels throughout the campaign. People feel that, as you just say, from time to time, it's a healthy process to have that done. And, this review process, it may identify several or little recommendations as to how we can provide operations more efficiently and effectively. And as our town continues to grow, this external and non-biased review is a prudent exercise to ensure we're on the right path. And, talking about prudency, throughout the whole process, we pretty well, right from the get-go, established the fact that we're going to try to balance this budget without having to incur any tax implications on our residents. We all recognize that, the whole country is going through a difficult time economically. The province is the same way, and there are many families out there that are struggling. These are very difficult times since COVID, and we recognize that through the whole process, and we said, okay, we're going to try to do our darndest to balance this budget without affecting services, and but keep tax levels, both residential and business, where they are now. And 6.5 residential, it's probably one of the lowest mill rates on the island. In fact, a few years ago, we actually reduced the mill rate, 1 full mill. I think we're probably the only town that did it. Most towns went anywhere between 0.25 to 0.5. We went as a full mill. And as you say, when you're dealing with a reduction in revenue and you're able to improve and enhance services, I think that's a tremendous accomplishment. But I also recognize what Councillor King said earlier. We do have aging infrastructure. We do have aging fleet of equipment. So there will be challenges, forthcoming in the future, which has to be addressed. And they're very costly initiatives. So it's something that we need to be cognizant of in the subsequent budgets throughout our whole term. But Councillor King raises a very legitimate, valid point that we do have to recognize, the infrastructure. Some of our infrastructure, like over on the south side, that's been in the ground now since, the mid-70s. So, we're climbing up there, and it's something that we really got to plan ahead for. But I think that, as Councillor Windsor talked about water, and the fact that we've recognized a water supply, and now we're going through a 3-phased approach to secure the funding and bring that to fruition and hopefully connect that system into Country Path. And I think that's going to really help our water supply throughout the whole town as the town continues to grow into the future, which we feel is going to happen. On the issue of the extra firefighter, and it hasn't been mentioned, but the 2 firefighters that we have now, They're on a contractual basis with the Nalcor agreement that we signed in the past. Okay? So these two firefighters on staff now from 8 to 4, that does not cost the residents of our town any funding. Okay? Upon the strong recommendation of our fire chief, the challenge that we are experiencing, and we're not isolated because it's happening with most departments right across the island, is the daytime response. Because most firefighters are working during the daytime hours and they're outside of the community. Some may be around and could respond, but it could be delayed response. But for the most part, we cannot be guaranteed a certain complement of firefighters. So, you know, the recommendation was we need that fourth firefighter. So basically now that we've got this hired firefighter, it's going to really enhance and improve the response time for our department. And I'll just take a moment to explain. You need a driver of a pumper, obviously, who also operates all the panel, okay, for your firefighting operations. That person driving that pumper during a fire incident should never leave that panel, because that controls the water volume going into that building, in which those two firefighters inside, that's their lifeline. Okay? Right now, we cannot do that. We can't send one firefighter in. Okay? With the extra firefighter, now we have two, so we can do that. Your fire chief, when responding, acts as the incident commander. So, you know, he will coordinate all the efforts of any incident, whether it's a fire, whether it's an RTA, a traffic accident on the Trans-Canada. He has to oversee all the operations and delegate authority to make sure that it's an effective operation. So he's committed. So then it leaves us with one firefighter in the back of the pumper. And one firefighter cannot do offensive firefighting, which means you are not permitted to go inside of a building. So by hiring this extra firefighter, now we've got our pump operator and driver, we've got the incident commanders, the fire chief, and we have two NFPA level 2 firefighters on back of the truck. So while they're responding to a fire, they're actually donning their breathing apparatus, and when they get on the scene, which will be now 5 minutes or less anywhere in this community, because they can, once that call comes in and they have a full pumper crew, which is 4 people, now they can have wheels rolling, or a turnout time, as we call it at work in St. John's, 80 seconds or less. Those guys and girl is out of the station, and you're anywhere in this community in 5 minutes or less. And I think that's a tremendous response. And I think that beats or exceeds the underwriters' requirements. And the same way with NFPA standards. Right? Now, as well, which I think the residents have to understand, our fire department is now stepped up and assisting the ambulance service and the paramedics. So if you get a call, if they get a call tomorrow morning for a cardiac arrest, chances are, or if a call comes in through 911 of a cardiac arrest, chances are they're going to be called upon, because they're trained, they have the defibrillators, and they're ready to move, they're ready to roll. So they can be on that scene in 5 minutes or less. And believe me, I'm 27 plus years with the fire department in St. John's, and I tell you, I experience hundreds of these calls, where not only minutes count, but literally seconds. And I mean that literally, seconds. Because if you got a loved one, or a friend, or it could be a stranger, anybody that just drops down in cardiac arrest, if you're not there to be able to apply defibrillation if required and start CPR, it's game over after 5 minutes. Because for every minute after, your chances of survival goes down drastically. So now with our four personnel and a pumper crew, if it's during the day, 8 to 4, and something happens medically, we're on the scene 5 minutes or less. That is phenomenal. That is something that I feel good about, and I think all the residents in the community can take assurance that you're going to have a qualified staff from the fire department on scene with all the proper equipment that can tend to your loved one. It could be a traumatic event. You know, somebody, you know, I could go on for hours about calls that I've responded to over the years, people falling off ladders and everything, you know, and it could be, I've seen it like from elderly people down to infants, you know. So the thing is, these things can happen at any time, and now we're well positioned with that extra firefighter to have a full pumper crew, turnout time 80 seconds or less, on the scene in 5 minutes or less, and I think that people can take an assurance in that. Our volunteers, and I got to recognize them, they do phenomenal work. I think Councillor King alluded to it earlier, the training that they've gone through year over year, their membership has gone up. Like, we've got a top-notch department right now, top-notch, and we certainly value their contribution that they make to the community, and we certainly appreciate the service that they provide our residents. But if they're working during the day and out of town, you know, these emergencies are still going to come in. Evening hours are not problematic, simply because most of the firefighters are home in the evening, and if a call comes in 8, 9, 10 o'clock, or even after midnight, usually there's a full complement of firefighters to be able to deal with the situation, and if it's a major situation, they also have mutual aid with our neighboring communities. So it's during the day that was the big challenge. And I thank council for recognizing that, supporting the chief in his recommendation, because all this is about enhancing and improving the level of fire protection for our residents. And fire and life safety is paramount. Is paramount. The protection and preservation of human life and personal property, as I said for many years, is probably one of the most, if not the most important service that we as a municipality can provide our residents. And I think we're stepping up, we're being proactive, and we know that our community is going to continue to grow both residentially and commercially, so we got to stay ahead of it and be proactive in our approach rather than faced with a reactive situation. So I think that's a very responsible decision on council's part, is to hire that fourth firefighter. So anyway, these are the two items. I won't get into anything else because you pretty well covered it all. But once again, I want to thank and commend all of council and our staff for putting so much thought and effort into this budget. It was a challenge from the beginning, as I said, with a $160,000 shortfall, and staff jumped on that right away, and we sort of brought that together, nipped that in the bud, and then we moved forward. So overall, I'm very pleased with the budget, and again, thank you all. So with that said, Councillor Crowley, you can close the debate.
I know why you left me last now. You heard enough of me while I was reading it out, and you've basically said everything that I want to say. But I do want to say thank you. I appreciate that you're all recommending me for delivering the speech, but it was all of you in the speech. So it was everyone, it was council, it was staff, everyone was in this speech. So I literally said your words, which is fantastic, and really appreciate our Director Marjorie Gibbons and our CAO, and thank you so much for that work and the effort put into delivering and put it all together. And I am, same thing as Councillor Windsor, blown away, because I've dealt with school budgets and they give you the money and you spend the money, and that's it. So this was a whole different kettle of fish, going into the processes and how long, and the long hours and late nights and that kind of thing. So much appreciated to all staff and councillors. So thank you very much. And if we're ready.
I got to correct you.
Oh no.
It's not a kettle of fish, it's a kentle of fish, isn't it?
I always call it kettle of fish. I'm from Placentia. What are you going to do?
There you go. Okay.
Don't have fish there. No, yeah, right.
Okay, so
Okay,
if
comments
there's
with
no
that.
more further discussion on the budget, thank you all for your input. We will move to adopt the budget. It has been moved and seconded. All those in favor of the motion, please raise your hands. Those against, motion is carried unanimous.
Be it resolved, the Town of Holyrood, in accordance with the Municipalities Act, Sections 75 to 79, adopt the attached 2022 Schedule of Taxes, Rates, and Fees to take effect January 1st, 2022. So moved.
Moved by Councillor Crawley, seconded by Councillor Buckle. Further discussion? If not, all those in favor, those against, motion is carried. Thank you, Councillor Crawley.
Yeah, I think I can sit down.
And now we're into new business, and I'll do the go around, and I'll start with the Deputy Mayor.
As this is our last meeting for the year, I would personally like to acknowledge and thank CAO Gary Corbett, Executive Assistant Krista Turnbull, and Director of Business Development and Marketing Marjorie Gibbons for their guidance, assistance, and professionalism shown to me as a new Deputy Mayor and committee member of their respective departments. I have learned a lot over the past few months, and I look forward to continuing to learn from your expertise in the new year. Hats off to Steve Martin and our public works employees for the great job at all the events that were planned for this Christmas season. The lighting of the park was fantastic. The weather was fantastic. Thanks to Ken McDonald and Helen Conway Ottenheimer, who came out for that evening with their greetings and their kind words. The parade was also a fantastic event. The weather was fabulous. We had so much fun on that float, I have to say. It was a great time. I don't know what connection Steve has with Mother Nature. If you don't have a connection with Mother Nature, go buy a lotto ticket, because you're the luckiest person I know when it comes to planning events in great weather.
That's true.
It is so true. And finally, I guess, to the residents of Holyrood, your new council has been very busy these past few months, and I have to say, I am thoroughly enjoying every minute of my time serving as your deputy mayor. I want you to know that you can place your trust in this new council to put your needs and voices first and consider your ideas and recommendations in making decisions for this town. And finally, I'd like to wish Mayor Gooby, my fellow councillors, all town management and staff, and all the residents of Holyrood a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Please stay safe and be kind to one another. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor. Councillor King?
No, I just want to, everything the deputy mayor said, I second it. But no, I mean, I'm the same as the deputy mayor. This is the first time I've been involved in municipal politics as well, and it's been a learning curve. And I tell you, everybody in Holyrood should come at least spend a week here, and then be paroled back to wherever they're going, right? But I think people will get a really taste of what goes on here behind the scenes, not what goes on, like I kept saying before, not what goes on in this room, but what goes on in all the other rooms in this building, and how things all come together, and the efforts of all the staff, right? And the enormous amount of meetings that we've had here since we've been sworn in on the 5th of October. And I've always said, you know, I always thought in the military we were really heavy on meetings, but council, the military don't even come close, right? You know, I mean, the military is way back in the rear view mirror when it comes to meetings. But you know, but saying that, there's a lot of stuff gets accomplished in those meetings, and I mean, and like I said, every time I go home, I always say to my wife, I've learned something new again today, unfortunately. Right? And she said, well, that's great, because you haven't learned anything here. Right? So anyway, it's good. And I greatly appreciate all the input. I appreciate the guidance from the CAO and all the staff. And they're a wealth of knowledge. But I think a lot of the times the people here, the people in Holyrood, take a lot of the stuff that goes on in this building for granted. And I think if people came here just for a week and seeing the actual work that goes on here, I think they would greatly appreciate it. From the others, like the Deputy Mayor said, I would like to wish everybody a safe Christmas, all the residents of Holyrood and all my colleagues here in council. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Councillor Crowley?
You are a tough act to follow, I'm telling you. I just want to say I did appreciate the whole process, same thing. Thank you to Director Marie Searle as well for helping us through the financial piece of it. It's been a lot. It's been a lot. Because I was thinking everybody, and I hate when I do it individually, so you're right, you're definitely going to forget something. So I apologize. But to the residents of Holyrood too, we do hear you. Like Heritage Committee, we hear you. And the teens, we hear you. Families, we hear you. And we are working to try to put everybody together and into here. And you may not have gotten everything you wanted out of the budget, but we did. I found we put in a lot of our campaign promises, even though we didn't really campaign. But things that we were talking about and promising did come forth and did come through. But don't be discouraged for the residents. We are here, we're still listening, and like I said, we hear you. And again, happy holidays. Thank you to everybody for helping us through this, and I hope you have a wonderful and safe holiday.
Thank you very much. Councillor Buckle?
Following three newbies there ahead of me. But anyway, I'd just like to say thank you to our staff. You know what I mean? I'm not surprised. You know what I mean? I've been on council 4 years prior and before that. You know what I mean? I'm not surprised with the work that the staff does here behind the scenes. And as Bruce said, if only the people in the community could see the work that's being done here by our staff. One thing we got here, we got a great team of staff behind us. And you know what I mean? With a great team of staff behind us, makes the job a lot easier for us. And with that being said, this is just a little note here. This is a time of year of great joy and yet time of loneliness as well. To all residents, staff, and members of council, from myself and my family, I wish you a wonderful Christmas. I hope you enjoy time with your family and make beautiful memories together. We extend to you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Thanks.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Buckle. Councillor King?
There's not much left for me to say. Everything's been said. And I've been around here forever, but really there's not much left to say. A great staff. I don't think you're going to find one anywhere else on this island. The staff is here. Like I said, I've been around so long and working with them for so long. And I wouldn't find anybody else, I'm sure, that works as hard as the people in this building. So, to all of you, go home for Christmas and enjoy. Take a rest. So I wish you all Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and be safe. Stay away from COVID.
Thank you, Councillor King. Councillor Windsor?
There's not much to say after that, literally. Right? So, here, agree with everything that everybody said, and thank you all, and Merry Christmas, and look forward to next year. And I got to say, I picked up some load of fireworks yesterday at Triple C. So I don't know what the bylaw is, but I'm testing the limit.
As long as it's not 3 o'clock in the morning. Anyway, I'll wrap up, I guess, but I guess you can all vividly remember the comments I made on the night that you were sworn in. When I said you were going to be inundated with meetings and meetings and meetings between now and Christmas season, and I said you're all going to say when the holidays rolls around, thank heavens we get a break. Am I right?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It has been very busy since early October. In fact, I take notes on the meetings, and I think, like for me personally, I had almost 40 meetings since we were sworn in. 40 meetings, and all of those meetings last an hour and a half, 2 hours. So, there's committee meetings, and then there's budget preparation. So, a lot of time and a lot of effort, and of course, with the new council, trying to get your feet wet and get familiar with the regulations and the process of the town operations and everything else. And then in the mix then, is your budget preparation. So, yes, you folks, everybody has been quite busy, but I got to say, you've all done a phenomenal job. The staff, side by side, and collectively, I think we had a very first quarter from the end of September right up until end of December. I think we're well positioned, and things are going pretty well. We have a good budget to work with, and I certainly look forward to carrying on in the new year. And by the way, this is my 21st budget. 21. And we've had some very difficult budgets years gone by. And Councillor King, 25 budgets. So we spent many times around the table. And I remember one year in particular, I won't say what year, but we were up like till 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. And back then there was no emails, there was nothing typed or anything. Everything was handwritten in scrawls, and there was paper flying across the room and modifying this figure and that figure, but anyway, finally we got it done. But anyway, that's all part of the process. But I got to say, over the last few years, we've done it. It's a different format which the staff did with the different departments, line by line by line. Of course, that's what you followed. So, yeah, it's a good job. So anyway, on that note, folks, I just want to wish you and your families a very safe, enjoyable, and peaceful holiday season. And yes, please stay safe, and look forward to being with you all in the new year as we move things forward again. So on that note, the date of the next meeting, and if I wish the residents of Holyrood as well, I was remiss in that, a wonderful Christmas season as well. So the date of the next meeting is January the 11th at 5:30, and could I have, now don't all jump to one time, could I have a motion to adjourn, please? Moved by the Deputy Mayor, seconded by Councillor Crowley. All those in favour? Those against? Meeting is adjourned. Merry Christmas, everyone.